All right. Now, you can obviously tell that we're just going to do some quick reactions here because I'm using the the wide camera, which is my webcam, versus using the kind of more close-up shot with the professional grade camera that I have. But so the thing I want to touch on is the fact that the I want to say quality control of like marketing and the way that companies can stay on top of themselves and get messages to customers, fair and equal opportunity to people trying to purchase products. So what had happened between yesterday and today is that there's a company called Evercade. Evercade makes really cool um, cartridge based consoles and handhelds. Now, I actually misspoke a little bit when going back and forth with people in on Twitter. And I'm like, oh well, I don't have a system, so I can't play the games. I kind of do. I have one actually right here. This is, what do they call this one? This is the Hyper Mega Tech. It's technically not an Evercade, but it's the same company. It plays Evercade games, and then this is the Capcom version, so it has some like built-in games to it. Pretty cool. It's not the experience I necessarily want. I really would like to have like a console, one of their consoles, or one of their like big kind of meaty handhelds. It's definitely fun. There was some old vertical Capcom game. I don't remember what it was now that I wanted to play, and was one of the reasons I picked it up. But when I had played it, it kind of showed me that, oh, I really would like something I really like playing on the TV. But even having like a nice big handheld would be really great. I have a 1X player. I've used the Steam Deck before. I also have the ROG Ally and a Switch 2, so I'm used to these bigger devices. Now, I'm gonna flip over screens here. So to show you here, so this is the Nexus that was announced a little bit ago. I believe this. No, see, this one isn't even available yet. Too, it's available on the 30th of October. As you can see, they have a like N60. There's like an N64 version of this too, where like the buttons are colored or something of that nature. But yesterday, in a very quick like turnaround kind of thing, they had announced a Doom version of it. It's super cool. So let me show you the system. Here it is right here. So let me see. Can I blow this up? It is, but you can see the console here. Yep, here you go. Look how awesome this is. Now, one of the things that for people who know me, I really like limited edition systems. As you can tell, I mean, almost everything I have is limited edition. The shirt's limited. That bag is limited. It's an Evangelion bag. I have the Final Fantasy 13 console. I've got a Final Fantasy 13 PS3 controller, Xbox 20th edition, uh, a Sonic Xbox controller, Star Wars Xbox controller, Spider-Man DualSense. Um, I almost said Destiny, and now I can't even think of the other game. Their extraction shooter that just came out, Marathon. Sorry, brain dead. And then this PS5 back here is even the Spider-Man PS5. Actually, this monitor right here is an Asus Xbox limited edition monitor. I am a troll for limited edition. Give me the limited edition stuff. I actually usually wait until console manufacturers actually put out limited edition versions of their systems to buy that one. I really like even my, again, I said this on my Doom videos. I'm using a Doom microphone. I have the 8-bit dough Xbox, translucent green. So again, I'm getting a little carried away. I love limited edition. Now, does that mean that I'm entitled to this system? Absolutely not, in no way, shape, or form. And I completely understand that. It is a rat race to try and get the system. So I have no issue with, if I can't collect myself or I don't have the funds to buy this, I do not deserve to get this. Completely understand. That is very understandable. That's not my problem though. So I'm going to jump back to the other screen. So yesterday, I see the console, right? And now I didn't see, or I don't remember where I initially saw it, but either way, this tweet goes out, right, from Evercade. and it shows this advertisement. And of course, I'm like, holy shit. I like I have to, I really want to get this system, right? So we've got it's super cool. Again, you get the handheld. I really wish I had a video out, but it doesn't. But that's okay. Not the end of the world. It's a handheld. But I love that's in widescreen. It's super cool. You get um this cart of Doom, and it comes with Doom 2 and a bunch of like additional levels. And you get a bunch of tchotchkes. You get a comic book, a poster, this awesome, sick ass Doom case. My goodness. Really, really, really awesome. Again, I'm entitled to absolutely zero of it. Now, I did not, to be honest, I did not see this part yesterday. It says, I just saw August 2nd. I think I clicked on the link, is what I did. So August 7th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay. So let's just put that in our. So we know that it's going live today, or whenever you guys see this. But today is the 7th. So, but I saw this on the 6th. So I'm going to jump to the next thing. So I click on the link, which takes me to their homepage. So this is Fun Stock. Now, I don't know if this is owned by Evercade or not. Majority of the products are all Evercade adjacent. I feel like this is their retail store. But I don't think there's any other. I've always kind of understood this was owned by Evercade. Because even this, I think, is still Blaze Entertainment, who owns Evercade and whatnot. But to be fair to Blaze Entertainment, I do not know if it is or not. But Blaze Entertainment is who makes Evercade and the Hyper Mega Tech, if I'm not mistaken, with all that. So to jump back. So in this carousel here on the front of the website, there was a picture, and I'll show it to you right now because I screenshot it because I sent it to a friend of mine. This was on the carousel. You can even see the buttons here. I didn't superimpose anything. It says Evercade Nexus, which is the model of the handheld Doom Edition, right? Sick as hell, got me super excited. I literally put a note in my calendar to like, hey, try and get this. Really shouldn't be buying. I actually have to have a surgery here pretty soon. I'm like a constant sick boy with my health issues. Really shouldn't be buying this, but gonna do our best, right, to get through this rat race here. And plus, too, again, I want to keep making content for the channel. I don't have I wanted this to be like a system I could capture and get footage and stuff for you. People really liked my Doom stuff, or even like negatively liked it. So I even thought about making more Doom stuff. I want to make some GTA stuff soon, even though I know there's no GTA games on this. But to get to the point, pre-orders from August 7th, 11 a.m. EDT. That's Eastern Daylight Time. I live in Florida. It is past, as of August 3rd, it's daylight, daylight time. So I know some people try to get on to me in Twitter and, hey, back off. I even Googled it just to make sure that I wasn't crazy. Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? And if you guys want to come in the chat here and tell me I'm wrong, that's fine too. But now where I was careless is I didn't continue reading, because if you read here, well, so these two would match up, right? The Central Time, but the Pacific Time doesn't. So which one is right there, right? Because Pacific Time is 3 hours behind. So if you go 3 hours ahead, that would put you at 10 a.m. Eastern, right? Not 11. So someone did a boo-boo, right? Now, again, whose fault is this? Now, for someone who works in gaming and someone who works with a lot of partners, I mean, we have to go through channels of people, especially if it's somebody else's product or license that are on something that has to get approved by some. Even my work internally, I have to submit to somebody before it goes live. I mean that's a part of like business. You have to get like there's layers to make sure that, sometimes you even just misspell something. And I'm willing to admit this is probably just a mistake, but it's costly, right? Now, let's go to the next thing of like evidence here, right? So, the next form of evidence is they put a post up, and I actually took that's not the greatest screenshot. Is the okay, so this is the full tweet here. Of course, you can see my negative comment here was very angry. So at 10 a.m. Eastern, they post they post that they're is this the right one actually? Where's open 7 a.m. at 3 p.m. I didn't grab the right one. So either way, let's go back to this one. There is one that actually says like you can go pre-order now. It looks actually almost very adjacent to this, which is why I pulled this one up. So I apologize for not having the right one ready. But basically, they have a tweet that goes out and it says, and it's at this time, 10:01, and it says, "Hey, you can go pre-order now." Right? And let's just go to the Evercade site. Let's not fool around. I want you guys to see it. I don't want you to think I'm lying. So pre-order's now open 9 hours ago. So let's click on it. Boom. So there's a tweet, right? Funstock at Funstock, right? There's Evercade. So this comes out. I didn't see this. So again, I have a full-time job. So I'm not, even though I do go online, I do share things, or read things online and do research for games and stuff like that too. But I'm not terminally online. There's actual like desk work I have to do for my job. So what I do a lot of times when there's like a pre-order like this, I set a reminder in my calendar so that way I know at 11 I can take a few minutes, step aside, and try and buy the item. I can't do that, and other people can't do that if you're going an hour early. And what's even crazier is I could not find, not even here on their website, because I'm thinking maybe I missed something. Maybe I did. Look, I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong. I don't see anything here. And again, this page didn't exist yesterday. And in nowhere, shape, or form. The only thing that existed was that banner that I showed you, which was this. That tweet, right? And then this. So that tweet went out yesterday. It was earlier in the day. And then at 5:52, when I looked back, it was 5:52 p.m. So 10:01 on the 6th, right? So at the start of, kind of started the workday. And then this I took at 5:52, the screenshot, and send to a friend to show like, hey, this is going you should consider getting one. Then the only other thing that I personally saw, I didn't see anything else unless something did and I missed it. Because look, no offense, I'm not terminally online. When I see something cool, I make a note of it. I move on with my damn life. I've got a lot of stuff I have to do. I'm not going to sit here and just, be terminally on Twitter or X or whatever. It's just not. I have a life, and I'd like to have this device to have that life. Now, that being said, the next right here. This is the next update. They just shadow drop it. 10 a.m., August 7th, out. And so, where's the communication? And again, maybe Funstock is a different company, but then in lies a whole nother problem. Why aren't these teams communicating? Obviously, the Funstock, even if they are owned together, they're two separate subsidiaries, but neither one are communicating, whether they're partners or they work for the same parent company, they work for Blaze. These companies are confusing consumers and not allowing people a fair chance to buy. Now, woe is me, right? It's just a toy, it's just gaming, it's make believe. It doesn't really matter in the long run in life, right? It really doesn't. Like, let's cut the shit. It's just video games. It doesn't mean anything, right? Doesn't mean they don't have great stories or they're not artistic, they're not fun, they're not good time. You can't bond with people. Yes, of course you can. But the reality is still that they're just video games at the end of the day, which is why it's important. Now, where this makes me more upset though is not only did they not communicate effectively, but and it's not just one thing. So let me even show you this. So this was somebody else who said they got an email. Now, I'm willing to believe this is probably from FunSpot because you can kind of see the blue up here at the top. And so I'm willing to believe that this is probably actually it it is probably actually from FunSpot. Again, so I'm starting to put more of the pressure over here. And I believe this person, even though it says 4 p.m. CET, I don't think this person was in the US. I think I went back and forth with him for a little bit. So here's a screenshot from an email. And what ends up happening is this is that because you can't communicate effectively, gamers, people who support your brand and buy your cartridges, or someone who's willing to get their very first again, I understand I have this, but I really don't I want one of the actual like big ones to again like one of the systems, one of the handhelds to actually like play. It's just too small, and I would like something that's like in widescreen too, especially for like games like Doom and whatnot that are in 16:9. But what happens though is see these scalpers and these flippers are terminally online. They're just sitting here waiting. They'll have banners up all day, and all they do is wait around for Pokemon cards and figures and all sorts of stupid shit, sneakers. They just buy them up so nobody can have them to then, mark them up 2, 3, 5x and to create some sort of false sense of security. Again, I understand there's some FOMO involved. Yes, I understand that it's a limited run. Yes, all that is okay. I'm also understand I'm not entitled to it. Where I'm arguing is that if they had just released at 11, like that was advertised on the front of their website, I could come in 11, have a fair shot with everybody else, because there was tons of people who were jumping in right along with me who were like, why isn't this live? And we're explaining to each other this has been sold out for 45 minutes because it sold out in like 15 minutes, apparently, from what a few people were saying, like 15, 20 minutes. So the people who bought it were the people who didn't see the website, didn't get the email, or were, only saw the tweets and or scalpers, essentially, who were gonna, even if it was 11, they're sitting there anyways, or have a million different notifications letting them know that, oh, this is on, this is on, this is on, go buy, go buy. Or a lot of people are even setting up AI like bots to shop for them and stuff. And look, I think that's actually kind of cool. But like to me, it's just not worth it. And again, I'm tend to be pro AI for a lot of the things. So we use it a lot here. And it's been very beneficial to us and our product. But like it's not something that I maybe in the future. Um, but I don't I like the experience of getting in. But but again, if it came out at 11 like advertised, and I lost a bunch of AI bots, I'd have to be like, okay, well that was on me, like it would be my fault at that point. And the fact that there's nothing course correcting it tells me it shadow drops and it negatively affects the customer. And why this is important, because most people were just like, well, just go get the other one. There's Nexus that you can buy right now. No, no, no. I buy the limited edition stuff. That's what I want. And if not, I'll just wait. And then it goes to show too, if they can't even communicate effectively, how does that work internally with their products then? Are they not, when they're building these products out, they're obviously probably not communicating effectively then between departments. And amongst their partners and amongst their subsidiaries, and like, there's obviously issues. If this can happen, this is a big issue. One of the problems too, personally, of a product going to a flipper, which again, whatever, everybody has a fair chance, versus going to a gamer, is in my head, I thought, man, once I get this, if once I secure the purchase, I'm going to go through what's on the website and make a second purchase of a bunch of carts. I do it all the time when I get new systems, because what happens? You get excited, that kicks in. You're like, oh man, I got to get a bunch of games I'll play 1 hour of, right? And then, but you're going to spend $50 a cart or whatever they are, $80 a cart, picking up all these games because it's exciting to get a new system, right? And even with this little thing over here, I see the potential of Evercade. I've been watching for, it bottles me, because with the issues that were going on with Sony, and to a lesser extent Xbox, and to an even lesser extent Nintendo, with the physical stores, like the fact that PlayStation's adding a thing to their disc saying, this game will not work on PS6. That's how confident like this is. And there's not an alternative going, hey, we're not doing this, but like we're going to use NAND flash, or we're going to use game carts like Switch does, and like nothing. Like there's no alternative. You can't even use an external disk drive. Nothing. This will not work. Wow, that makes that a lot less attractive, actually. It was one of the things with Xbox One when it came out that made it less attractive, is that 360 had at least some backwards compatibility. A lot of the games were backwards compatible. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. Oh, it's not coming up with me? And think about it too, even with PS3. So the launch model, right, of PS3 had PS2. And then, oh, we're gonna take that away because it's overheating. We just can't figure that out. And it's costing us too much money. This will be more profitable this way. But at least the price went down. It eventually started coming down in price. So you can at least look the other direction there. But where I'm getting at with this is that when a lot of people have been like, man, it really sucks that like they're taking away physical games, really love physical games. I'm like, well, it's Evercade. It was the first thing out of my mouth, because it's a new system with new games. Even if they're taking an old game, they're reprinting a new SKU. Versus like I actually really like this platform, but I have a Polymega, and you can buy these modules that go on the, let me show you here, that go on the top, and they like flip out, right? And then I have a bunch, they're like tucked back there, sorry. But you can buy modules. It plays, I would say the majority, not all of them, of like 90s PC console, or excuse me, 90s disc-based consoles, and then you buy different modules for the top. So I have all the current ones except for the 2600, which I think is coming out or is being shipped to people now. I didn't order that one yet. I would really like to. I keep meaning to. I'm just not the biggest 2600 guy, but I would still like to have that part of my collection and actually start collecting that. I really love the Polymega. Great interface, great. It's a great unit. It's really, really awesome. And they also have the Remix now, which connects to the PC. You can play on your Steam Deck. Like, dude, it's sick. Like, but there's not new. Well, Polymega does have some, like, well, okay. So you have some new games. There's Mod Retro now. It has some new games. But they're still borrowing from other platforms, right? Well, actually, Polymega has its like DVD. There are actually Polymega games, so I guess I take that back. But I've been championing Evercade the most, even though I don't really have one. Again, minus this one right here. So again, I just wanted to be honest about that. But I don't feel like I'm getting the full experience of Evercade, and the fact that it's not even like, hey guys, we'll let us work on this. Well, let's get it. No, it's done. Too bad, so sad. If you want to deal with somebody, and then also too, I didn't see this, but I was getting feedback from chat that there was people saying that they saw that they were also saying, oh no, only 2 per account. When you start saying that, that means you are trying to sell the scalpers versus going one per account. Why do you need more than one per household? Yes, I don't have children. I get it. I know people made that comment to me too. But then they see us in here because they're commenting on everything that's basically not the people having the real conversation here. And they start boasting. They're like, oh, sold out. Ha ha ha. It's basically screw you guys. We don't care because we just made a bunch of money. Microsoft just made a bunch of money. Xbox just made a bunch of money. ZeniMax just made a bunch of money. ID just made a bunch of money. Blaze Entertainment made a bunch of money. Congratulations. I'm not anti making money. I'm happy that you guys made good money. All I'm asking is with this damn money, please have your teams communicate together so that way gamers who will then turn around and spend an extra $300 on carts and games can play them on your platform. I think there's a lot to be desired, but personally, I'm not, I'm not saying this is a hill I'm gonna die on, but like currently, until I maybe I can find one online cool at a good price, or there was a Duke Nukem one a while back that was like pretty sweet, the atomic something or other color, pretty cool. If I could find one of those at a good price, but here's the thing, that console 2 was like around 230, I think. Those things regularly go for 550. Funny enough, I was in Vegas not that long ago for work, and there's a pink gorilla out there, and there was one out there, I think sealed too. And I remember messaging someone online. They said, "Oh, I saw it." The very next day I went and it was gone. And again, yes, I could get a regular one. Okay, I get it. But like, again, that's a part of my thing. It's a part of like everything I own. My PC is a limited edition. My Xbox is limited edition. Like I have the 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 Galaxy 2 terabyte Xbox, and I put the Doom wrap, the one that it's not a sticker, it's like a magnet wrap over it, and it's really disappointing. Again, I have the Doom Havoc case. I've got the Doom 5080 card in there. It's baffling. And again, I know I don't deserve anything. I'm just trying to say it out loud again. I'm not pouting that I didn't get one. It's fine. Life goes on. I have plenty of video games. As you can see, I have plenty of games to play. Maybe there's a sign I just don't need it. What my big issue is there were so many people in the chat going, I just wanted to try. I just wanted to try and get one. And then what was even more funny is that there was people coming into the coming into the thread essentially and going, oh, well, I got one easy. If you could just read, take skill, maybe you should be more prepared. And it's like, dude, you're completely missing the point. It's not about, again, it's okay that I didn't get the system. And some other people were like, well, I got one. My answer was, awesome, dude. I really hope you like it. Seriously, it's a sick system. Like, look at the specs, look how it looks, like the case. I couldn't be happier for you. And I truly mean that. I don't mean it in any condescending way. I truly couldn't be happier for you. But there's a big, big problem when a company that is claiming to be like, hey, we're a player in this space, okay, we may not be one of the big three or even one of the big PC platforms, but like they're definitely a player in the space. So much so that I go into retail stores now, not your big box retail like your Target or Walmart or anything, but like I've gone into the county north of me. There's a really dope game store up there that carries new games and stuff too, and they carry their stuff. They have a ton of it. I mean, I don't know how recently I haven't peeked at how new, but I always peek at the Evercade stuff. I mean, it's awesome. It's one of those things where like it's on the list of like things I'd like to pick up. But you know, and again, I'm just one person. They look at me and be like, whatever, you know. And I'm not necessarily trying to give them bad press. It's just I am expressing that I want a company to be more clear about. Let me see if I can get these pictures bigger again. About this, 10 a.m. Eastern, and this, 11 a.m. Eastern. And hey, look, maybe that one guy in the comment section or the thread or whatever in on X, maybe they're right. Hey, maybe you just need to be more prepared. You know what, dude? I'm gonna take it on the chin. Maybe you're right, man. So I don't want to die on this hill. I still think Evercade makes good products, but it is concerning that it's like, wow, you guys really can't communicate that. And Doom is tied to a very, very big company. And if you guys can't get your stuff together, so, but I know Xbox very numbers focused right now, and as any company should be. Can't do anything else unless you have the numbers, right? So I'm hoping everybody made some good money out of this. It's sold out, so I'm sure you guys did, and I hope you continue to. This is not me being disparaging, saying no. There was some guy actually in the thread who was saying like, "Oh, this is pissing me off." He already had a system. He's like, "I'm gonna sell all my games. It's pissed me off so much." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 dude! If you have a system and Evercade already, and you enjoy it, continue enjoy. This is not me trying to suck the joy out of the room. All I'm trying to say is, for someone like me, I really enjoy buying limited edition hardware. I understand the consequences of not everybody gets to win. I've been pretty good about getting in and purchasing it and getting it, or finding it at a reasonable price secondhand to where it's actually either at price or maybe like a $50 markup, or it's not overly bad. But yeah, I mean, these people, there was one I saw selling for like 450 already, some 50, which I'm pretty sure is against eBay's terms of service, that you're not supposed to have an item up. You could have a pre-order item available, but it can't be longer than a month. And if it comes out October 30th, we're about 2 months out. So again, just wanted to share some thoughts. Feel free to jump in the comment section and tell me I'm crazy or my opinion sucks, or maybe you agree with me, but I thought this outrageous that this was the fact that I showed up at the time on the dot that was advertised on your website, or the only website that was selling it. And somebody between Blaze, Evercade, and Funstock, which to me appears to be the same company, and even if you're not, you're all partners, you could not communicate effectively to let gamers know, hey, this drops at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Get your credit cards ready, guys. Couldn't do it. So, but either way, feel free to jump in the chat. Feel free to give me your thoughts, and hopefully we can have some more positive discussion of how we can grow from this, and what we'd even like to see out of the game industry moving forward. And this is, I think, the biggest thing for me is that I want to call out these companies because we're given way too many passes, especially the companies like PlayStation. Again, I love my PlayStation. I love PlayStation games, so I got no beef there. But just saying, hey, I don't like this, and kind of voting with your wallet. And again, I'm not dying on the hill saying I'll never play an Evercade again. I do technically own one, but will I, until either I see a better pattern or I find like a console that I really, really like and I have a good experience purchasing it and going through that process, it's just not worth my time. I've got an Xbox and a PlayStation right here. I have a sick ass PC right here. I have no reason to bother with you. So until you've intrigued me, this was something that was intriguing to drop money on. And until something like this again can be put in front of me, it's just not worth it. So again, I'm going to try and close this out for the last time. Feel free to jump into the comments and let me know your thoughts, good or bad. I'm not trying to repress anybody here. You feel free to call me an idiot if you like, but I really would love to hear your thoughts. So on that note, have a great rest of your day. Keep gaming, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.